Well, let me tell you something, brother. It's time for the P3 podcast. These four jabronis are going to get together and they're going to talk wrestling. So you better send your prayers and take in your vitamins.
You're listening to the Pittsburgh Piledriver.
What the hell is that?
Podcast.
Well, rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. You've had a good run. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning into the P3 podcast. We're going to entertain your ear holes with some wrestling speakies. You know, like back in the day. It's like a fireside chat, except, you know, you're going to learn nothing except how much we all hate WWE, which has been well established, and you should know that by now.
Well documented.
This should not be your well documented. This should not be the first time you tune into the show. You should go back and listen to episode 1. That way, you can enjoy the entire saga of hate and vitriol that we seem to have for an industry that we devote so much of our time to. In any case, we've got Poot the Bard, baby.
Yes.
We've got Beef the Legend.
Yo.
We've got the uppercutting Tiger Bomb Tom.
Hold on,
And
if I may.
well,
Ladies and
hold on.
gentlemen.
You know what? It might be the last time. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Poot the Bard, baby, and I would like to introduce your reigning, defending, undisputed Cruiserweight champion, Mr. Alec, the Madman Ransom.
So this is going to be really a suspenseful episode. And the only reason it's going to be that way, and it's probably only going to be that way to me, is because it's not looking great for the Mad Champ. I'm a little behind in the old pickaronis. And usually when I'm at this far behind, pardon me, there's usually not a whole lot of coming back. Pardon me, goodness. Touch of Kobe. That's not Kofi. That's a different thing.
Your burp
Usually
sounded like
Beef
a
is
drill
pretty
that
damn
misfired.
good with his picks. So when I'm this far behind, there's usually not a whole lot of coming back for me because I'm going to, Beef has a record and a history of if he's off, he's only off by like a couple. And unless you really duff it on these picks, I have a sneaking suspicion that after Sunday, you're going to be walking around with some gold on your shoulder.
Can I just say I hope not? And that's not a slight against Beef because it's more so I don't want us to hot potato this title. No, I don't want us to hot potato this title like fucking WWE just did right before Survivor Series.
If I may, if you guys remember, Ransom laid this exact same spiel at our feet in October, and he was like, "Oh, well, I don't know. Beef may come from nope. It's me. I'm the Bad King." Like this is his spiel. This is where he fucking wrecks us.
He thieved it.
So
he thieved it. Our guards were down. He thieved it.
He fucking snuffed it.
he
snuffed
fucking
it.
thieved it. All right, so real quick review of the standings. I am atop the leaderboard right now with 8-1 at Full Gear.
Oh boy!
Tech Bomb Tom just under me at 7-2, and Poot and Ransom bringing up the rear at 6-3.
I'm your dark horse. I'm your dark horse, people.
Nothing is unattainable at this point, but with only 6 matches at Survivor Series, got to be on point. So,
and it's
margin.
just a mishmash garbage of an event too. So it's all just up in the fucking air.
sure, Survivor,
Shit.
bragging Survivor Series rights. My favorite fucking. We'll get into it. All right. So let's do picks. We'll start with Ransom. No, fuck it. We'll start with me just for simplicity's sake. Tag team. So the shtick with Survivor Series, if you haven't known by now, it's every champion is facing off except for NXT because apparently they're not important again this year. And there are 2 actual traditional Survivor Series matches.
Those bitches.
In the tag team face-off, we see the Raw tag team champions, The New Day, versus the SmackDown tag team champions, the Street Profits. I like The New Day here. for reasons that I'll get into a bit later, but I like the New Day here. Poot, what do you think?
I'm sorry. Could you run that by me one more time?
New Day versus Street Profits.
Oh.
Does Poot want the smoke?
Normally Poot would want the smoke. I gotta go with New Day on this one. Is something in my guts just telling me New Day. I love the Profits. I think they're great. I think honestly they have a really high ceiling, and their gimmick and everything has a long Stacy Keibler kind of pair of legs on it. So but something in my guts just saying, hey, go with the New Day.
Ransom, our king.
Ransom wants the smoke. The only way I retain this title is if I have enough picks separate from Beef, plus the fact that I feel this is a good opportunity for an established veteran tag team to do the favor for a younger, they are established, but a younger in the business tag team. I feel like this is a great opportunity for the New Day to do the favor to the Street Profits and give them a big boost by putting them over. Street Profits.
Tiger Bomb, Tom.
Tiger Bomb Tom also wants the smoke. Street Profits.
All right. Nice and clean, boys. The mid-card champions face off.
Ugh.
The Vanilla Maximum Midget, Bobby Lashley, versus Sami Zayn. I don't have anything clever for him. United States Champion versus Intercontinental Champion. Poot, who have you thinking you got? Now?
I got to go with Sami Zayn. I'm going to go with Zayn.
Ransom
picks Bobby Lashley. I feel like if you really want to legitimize the Hurt Business, you have to continue to put their people over. It doesn't make sense for them to position the Hurt Business as a dominant force and then have their people consistently and constantly lose. Plus, I think out of those two, if Zayn ate the pin, it would hurt him less.
Tom?
Lashley.
Damn you, Tom.
I am also picking Lashley because...
Damn you, Beef!
Damn you, Beef.
Zayn can eat pin sandwiches all day, every day, and still be good old smarmy Sami Zayn. Lashley...
Ransom, don't be too upset with me, because just remember, we can always share. We can be co-champs.
Actually, no. If
Shut up,
tie, if it's a tie, Ransom retains by himself. You bastard! I'm trying to stick up for you.
Oh,
that's right.
For the ladies, Asuka, the Raw Women's Champion, versus Sasha, the SmackDown Women's Champion. Ransom.
I don't know why, but I'm not going to pick on the side of Mrs. the Bard. I'm going to go with Sasha. I don't like her. I wanted to stay the hell away from my Mandalorians. She has no business putting that armor on. She's the worst. But I feel like she's going to go over.
Tom?
Is it Asuka versus Sasha?
Yep.
And Sasha is the SmackDown Women's Champion currently?
Yep.
Asuka.
I am picking Sasha Banks because I think that she needs a pretty big win, and I think that none bigger than Asuka at this point. Poot.
You know what? I don't think that I have a prayer and a chance to win this. I'm gonna go with Mrs. the Bard.
Another house divided.
I'd be offended if you didn't. At least we're keeping things interesting. I gotta get my phone out for this. Oh, it's on the table. Hold on. Because I actually need to see fucking matches.
Dude, what is going on with your gut tonight?
I put a lot of habanero sauce on my meatloaf tonight.
I was gonna say,
habanero meatloaf.
Are you processing tin cans in there?
I might be. I'm really trying to get behind this, green initiative, and I figure if I drink a Pepsi and then I just consume the can, there's no byproduct.
He's got
So
a
I'm
bender
going
factory
green.
inside his
The
gut.
Mad King is going green.
It sounded like you decided to just eat a bunch of cans and a bag of D10s and just start jumping around.
Yeah, man.
Like one of those fucking like sweepers that the kids push around with all the damn popping in them.
You ever wonder where nitroglycerin comes from? It comes from my pee.
Yes, Ransom piss. So the women's 5-on-5 traditional Survivor Series match. Team Raw, which is Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, who are the tag team champions, Lana, Lacey Evans, and Peyton Royce, versus Team SmackDown, Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and 2 members to be determined. Tom.
Oh fuck.
It's
Um.
the same reaction I had in my own head.
Yeah. I don't know. Fuck it. Team SmackDown. Why not?
Let me just say that
Don't
this
do the
Wait
picks.
till.
huh?
Do the
Nah,
picks.
go ahead. You're fine.
What the fuck you talking about? This is like the least appealing match on the card, and like the least appealing match that I've seen in like months. I'm picking Team SmackDown, just because I think that SmackDown needs to pick up a win here. But outside of Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler, this match is bereft of talent. Poot, who you got?
Are you now? Team SmackDown is the one with Baszler. Everything.
No. SmackDown is Bianca Belair, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and 2 members to be determined.
I'm also going with Team SmackDown, and I can explain my reasons if you want to. If you want me to.
Well, I mean, this isn't a pick cast; it's a podcast. Go ahead, Boot.
Well,
Boot.
honestly, I think one of the to be determined people is absolutely going to be Rhea Ripley.
Oh,
Absolutely. Like
that's not a bad call.
absolutely. And to have Rhea Ripley lose, that's going to be erroneous and stupid. But then again, WWE's good with erroneous and stupid. So,
Ransom, who you got?
I'm definitely not winning this title because I'm picking too many things that are the same. I'm going to go with Team SmackDown because I really feel like those last 2 unnamed entrants could have the opportunity of being something big. Like Poot said, it could be a Rhea Ripley. I feel like there's a possibility that it could be an Ember Moon, or even a shot in the dark and a long shot. It could be a returning Charlotte Flair.
Oh, I was just about to say that. As much as it makes me want to throw up in my mouth, you're probably not wrong.
So I don't know. I feel like there's more opportunity for at least definitely one of those surprise entrants to be a big name. And you're not going to have an Ember Moon or a Rhea Ripley or a Charlotte Flair show up and then have them lose. That would make a whole lot of sense.
Let me deflate all of your balloons very, very quickly.
Oh, good.
2 women who have been involved in the title hunt are not featured on this pay-per-view yet. That being Bayley, the former champion, and Carmella, who came out and attacked Sasha Banks last week. It's very likely going to be probably Bayley and Carmella. It may not be. I may be wrong, but that's what I'm putting my money on. Raw men to traditional Survivor Series match, and I'm not going to call it the Survivor Series match because there's no fucking series. It's one match. It is Team Raw, which is AJ Styles, Keith Lee, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Matt Riddle. Riddle versus Team SmackDown, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, King Corbin, Seth Rollins, and TBD.
Oh.
It's my pick. I'm picking the Raw men.
ramen.
Oh.
Boots.
I am, you know what, just to be kept in difference, I'm going to pick SmackDown.
Fucking Poot.
Ransom.
This one I really don't know.
Listen, to Ransom, if you're thinking in terms of sheer numbers, you don't need to worry about beating Poot. You and Poot are tied, and you guys have enough different at this point where it's not going to come down to you versus Poot.
No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about you.
Yes.
And I really feel like I'm resigned to the fact that I picked enough the same as you that it's not going to matter. So, on one hand, I feel like it could be SmackDown, especially since they've got that surprise entrance. But I don't think there's big enough names on Team Smack. Well, I guess Seth Rollins is there, and Corbin, Jey Uso. I don't know. The thing that's steering me away from Raw is the fact that
Jey Uso, huh?
The fact that Keith Lee is on Team Raw, it just really feels like they're setting up Team Raw for a loss there because, reasons and Vince McMahon logic. I don't know. I don't know about this one. I don't know. I doubt they would have a SmackDown go over Raw just because Raw is Raw. But I don't think it matters at this point. I'm going with SmackDown.
Tom?
No homo. I'm all for Team Bra Men.
That's
Hashtag
funny.
confirmed. Tom likes Raw.
Men.
No, just Raw. He likes the program Raw. Shame on you, Tom.
Yeah, that's actually an age. The main event. Well, probably not going to be the main. If we're being honest, the 10-man tag's probably going to be the main event. But the main title guy, Drew McIntyre, newly minted 2-time WWE champion Drew McIntyre versus Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Pooped.
Balls. Why me first? This is tough, man, because my answer, and I know I did this on the last one, wants to be there's going to be some chicanery afoot with this match. It feels like, to me, it doesn't make sense. Something just clicked in my head.
You're right. It doesn't make sense. None of it makes sense.
Something just clicked. So we wonder why Randy Orton passed that belt back to Drew McIntyre. Do you think it's because Randy Orton didn't want to take a loss to Roman Reigns? They wanted to keep Orton looking quote-unquote strong. But then again, that doesn't make sense to have him lose immediately to Drew McIntyre. Oh, God, I'm going cross-eyed and I'm going down
especially
a black
on
hole
a Raw, too.
Of logic.
Yes, that young up-and-comer Randy Orton who they need to worry about protecting. You're right.
Yeah, well, we've made that point before, but I just was like, I realized I'm going down a black hole of Vince McMahon logic right now. That's not good.
You are.
You know what? I know it seems like a completely counterintuitive thing, but you know what? I'm just going to wait for the next month of picks. I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre on this one because he's coming off of a fresh win. I think partially they realized how big of a mistake it was to make him look that fucking weak. And what better to make him look strong than to win over the tribal chief, Captain Buff Boy Shiny Teeth, Roman Reigns.
Toad, you're like embracing your inner cornet every time you say the word fucking.
I think it's just because I'm tired and frustrated with the fucking world.
I kill you.
Reigns the best.
McIntyre versus Roman Reigns.
I'm sticking with the logic that I made in my video earlier today.
That there is no logic.
Well, but I feel like having Roman Reigns lose to Drew McIntyre is a disservice to Roman Reigns. It's not like Roman Reigns is going to put him over and that's going to do something for Drew. Yeah, I think Roman Reigns losing to Drew McIntyre makes Roman look bad, especially after trying to pump him up as the tribal chief. He's on this rocket. Oh Lord, pardon me. He's on this heel run. Drew McIntyre, he's already lost it to Orton. He's won it back on a Raw. I feel like nobody really, fan base wise, is going to give a shit if Roman Reigns beats Drew McIntyre. Like I don't think it hurts him at all because I don't think people were looking at Drew McIntyre going, yes, this guy. So I'm going to go with Roman Reigns.
Mr. Casual Gaming Dad himself, Tiger Bomb Tom. What do you think?
Well, I thought Poot was going to go with a different logic about the whole Orton thing, and maybe Orton's going to be the to be determined and show up on Team SmackDown and flip brands or something. But in any case, I'm going to go with Roman.
I too am picking Roman Reigns.
I don't mean to cut you off, Beef. I know for anyone out there who's listening, yes, I'm breaking the fourth wall talking to you faces right now. I know for all of you, you're thinking, man, this Poot guy doesn't know dick about wrestling. And you know what? You're right. But also, look, someone's got to pick differently. And also, you know what? It keeps things interesting. And WWE and that old bastard that runs it, just crazy enough that it could work. Unfreeze the scene 80s style. What were you saying, Beef?
I was just making the point that, if we're looking at who the pinfall is going to hurt more at this point, it would hurt Reigns more than it would hurt McIntyre. So logic dictates that, McIntyre lose the match. Plus, Reigns has a crew. McIntyre does not.
Well, he's got Christian and Shawn Michaels and
Flair.
Ric Flair. Yeah, he's got his own crew.
Forgot about the poker playing legends. You're right. Jey Uso comes out and they cut to the guys playing poker in the back. They're like, oh shit, we should go and help Drew.
Damn it, we gotta get out there, guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
I just, I don't know. Like, I think it comes down to, at the end of the day, if you put a gun at Vince McMahon's head and said, who's your number one, McIntyre or Reigns, he's going to say Reigns all day long. Because this is Vince McMahon's wet dream that's finally fucking coming forth 6 years in the making, where Reigns is finally getting over and doing something well, and everyone's like, oh man, this is great. So he's not going to fuck that up now.
Yeah, and plus two, I think Poot said something about it, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not listening, I don't know. I truly would be surprised if this match did not contain some sort of chicanery.
Yep.
If Randy Orton doesn't turn out to be the surprise guy on Team SmackDown, if he's not on this pay-per-view at all in any sort of match, I would almost willing to be guaranteeing that he shows up in the Reigns-McIntyre match and does something.
Well, and let's not forget that your Money in the Bank contract holder, The Miz, not in the event. The Fiend, not at the event. Orton, not at the event. As of right now, Bayley, not at the event. So there are a lot of big-ish names. Daniel Bryan, not at the event. So there are a lot of big-ish names, and they do this a lot of times with these pay-per-views where they'll cycle through the talent. Like Kevin Owens will miss a couple months and then he'll be prevalent for a couple months and then vice versa. So I just think that's how things work in the COVID time, That's as weird it is. And
so are we ready to last call this thing?
In the middle of my sentence? Sure.
Sorry, I have to take a poo, so I didn't want to miss it.
So here, quick rundown.
You could do that from here, Tripod.
New Day versus Street Profits. Split house. Me and Poot, New Day. You, Ransom and Tom, Street Profits. Lashley versus Zayn. We are Lashley across the board, except for Poot, who likes Zayn. Sasha versus Asuka. That's fun to say.
Pep. We're going to go across the board on that Intercontinental match.
You're changing your mind? Okay.
You know what? No. Never mind. I'm getting gun-shy. Never mind. Screw it. Well, no. Yeah, we're going across the board. Never mind. I'm random tonight.
So you're picking Lashley?
Yes, Lashley.
Wild card!
Sasha versus Asuka. Ransom and I pick Sasha. Putin and Tom pick Asuka. The women's match, we all picked a SmackDown
Swapping
women.
that one as well.
So you're picking Sasha on the women's match or the women's tag team match?
Yep. Sorry, wifey. I'm going with Sasha.
Okay, so you're leaving Tom Mountain Island. Okay.
All right.
SmackDown Women's Tag Team or SmackDown the 5-on-5 match. We're all going SmackDown Women. The traditional Survivor Series match, Raw Men. Me and Tom are going Raw Men. The Poot and Ransom are going SmackDown Men. And then Drew versus Reigns. We're picking Reigns, except for Poot, who's picking McIntyre. From a sheer numbers perspective, Ransom, you could definitely at least tie me. And tying would be good enough to retain your title. Tom would have the chance to beat me as well. Poot, you would not at this point because of the changes you've made.
Man, that's great. People don't have to watch the event or tune in to next week's podcast. It's great.
I apologize. Poot, you could tie me because we did pick the men's tag and the main title match. Well, the quote unquote the heavyweight title match differently. So we could potentially tie.
As long as Ransom retains that belt, I'll be a happy advocate.
Oh.
So for the other two of you who are waiting patiently for me to get to my picks, would the other two of you like to change anything?
I'm good.
Yeah, I'm solid. I'm gonna stay.
I too am locking in.
On that note, I'm going to relieve myself from this podcast so I can go relieve myself in the bathroom, and I will talk to you gentlemen probably tomorrow.
All right, bye, Tom.
All right, Tom. Hey, thanks for coming.
Tom.
Thanks for giving your picks, and everybody tune in to Casual Gaming Dad's Corner on the YouTubes and the Facebooks. Catch some games.
Games.
All right. Have a good night, gents.
Bye,
Good night,
Tom.
Tom.
Bye.
Love you.
Later.
So
All right, now the weight's gone.
I have a problem with this Survivor Series.
Me too.
I understand it's COVID times, but I feel like, you know what? It's not March, it's not April, it's not even May or June. You, as in WWE, should have had ample time to acclimate and adapt. To have this pay-per-view, really honestly, you have two quote-unquote Survivor Series matches. Like I said in that stupid video earlier, you have two multi-team tag matches. Elimination tag. They're not Survivor Series matches like you said, Beef. They're not. They're elimination multi-person tag matches. That's what they are. You have that, and then you have the rest of the card. Champions versus champions from either show. It doesn't really feel like there has been any build-up. It doesn't seem like there has been any promotion of we're doing Raw, we're doing SmackDown, they're going to butt heads, we're going to find out which brand has superiority. And not to mention the fact that there are 0 NXT matches, not even one on this card. It really seems like just the shittiest Survivor Series event that I can remember in a long, long time.
It's because, I think I can sum this up, and maybe Beef can expound on it. This feels like an afterthought.
Oh, yes.
An absolute afterthought. 100%.
So, the Dubs, Mr. S Dub and Ransom and myself were chatting last night watching AEW, just about life in general, and obviously a lot of wrestling because S Dub's a big fan as well. The prevailing opinion has become that basically Survivor Series has kind of sort of become the kickoff to the road to WrestleMania. Obviously everybody feels like the Royal Rumble starts that, but realistically, this is when the gears start moving. This is when that lube starts to get moving. Like, this is where you start angling for your biggest, quote unquote, your biggest show of the year. And honestly, I think this has zero to do with COVID. If this has to do with too many cooks in the same fucking beat up kitchen. and they keep bringing more up from NXT. This is a crowded scene filled with major talent. Main event guys like Rey Mysterio, Baron Corbin, Seth Rollins are all kind of, Kevin Owens are taking back seat to where I think that they could be doing much better. Guys like Cesaro, Shinsuke Nakamura, who we didn't even fucking mention on this podcast. Guys like AJ Styles, Otis, who won the fucking Money in the Bank and was the hottest act for the first part of the year. The Miz, your Money in the Bank holder. All of these guys are missing from the show. And like I said, I don't think this is the COVID thing. This is just hey, the roster's too fucking big. And unless you want to have 4-hour shows, which WWE has been moving away from, which I actually have zero problem with. If they want to put on a good 2.5, 3-hour show, like in the old days,
that'd be
great.
super duper.
But and they have been. They've been putting out entertaining, but like we talked about last night as well, less memorable shows. I think at the end of the day, with the exception of WrestleMania, I think every show that I've watched, I was like, oh man, that was a good show. I was entertained. And if you point a gun on my head and say, what was the best match of 2020 on a WWE pay-per-view, I would say I don't remember half of them. I don't remember any of them. Nothing sticks out in my mind.
That's really, really scary. Now, do you think, just posing this, aside from the fact that the product has been, we'll say, in flux for a while, at least from a fan standpoint, it seems, do you think it's also just us ourselves as fans going through kind of a transition where we're in a little bit of ennui? Like we're just not approaching it or enjoying it, or we have other things going on, or what?
I don't
or
think
maybe it's
so.
we're jaded.
I don't think so, because the temperature, and again, I talk to Smarks, so I couldn't tell you what Joe Blow on the fucking street thinks. Like fucking Joe Blow in his Goldberg shirt, 1990, 1998.
I talk to Smarks, but that Joe Blow guy, fuck him.
I'm not trying to talk down. I'm saying the people that I talk to, the people I keep in my circle, I tend to be of the smarkier variety like us, that fucking watch the product, we get the product, and we analyze the product like a fucking reading club. That's what we are. We're a fucking book club for wrestling. And that's fine. But realistically, that the temperature on this particular pay-per-view seems to be rather tepid. And that is, again, kind of what it's been since WrestleMania, where it's like, oh, it's been a good product on their special events, but not memorable. So yes, you're getting to people to bed earlier on Sunday nights. Hey, that's great. But at the same time, you're sacrificing memorableness. AEW is a prime example. They put on a show on Full Gear, where it started at 7:30, it finished up a little after 11:30, so just about 4 hours. And they had a decently sized card, but I came away with a very memorable match with Hangman and Omega, a very memorable match with the Bucks and FTR, a really good match with Cody and Darby, and then a decent main event, obviously. So they're making the best use of their time. I don't think WWE is. And again, it's just way too fucking crowded. And this is probably since the fucking brand split, last year whenever they moved to Fox.
How much?
And yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt your thought.
You're
I
good.
just how much of that is the fuck? I just lost it. I'm sorry, I'm a dickhead. Now, how much of that is the impetus? Just bringing a point on the talent being able to tell a compelling in-ring story. I think the reason you pointed out Omega and you pointed out the Bucks and FTR, right? Pointed those two things out, and which is very valid. I'm not invalidating that. What I am saying though is those talents are able to tell an in-ring story that is compelling, interesting, and engaging. Do you think some of that is on the talent in WWE not having the time, despite having, longer shows or whatever and what have you, having the ability to really get into the meat of telling who they are in the ring versus weird backstage things,
And that's just it. WWE chooses to focus on these stupid fucking shenanigans backstage and, all this other fucking hokey bullshit. Whereas AEW is like, here's our fucking product. Whereas NJPW is like, here's our product. Ring of Honor is like, here's our product. You can tell a story. For example, and I hate to keep leaning on AEW, but I'm an AEW mark. Get over it. Kenny and Hangman. They had some backstage vignettes, a couple 90-second promos, things like that. But for the most part, their story of their feud was told in the ring. That is an important art that I think is being lost a little bit. With guys like Kevin Owens, AJ Styles, Matt Riddle, guys like Seth Rollins, even guys like Roman Reigns.
Riddle.
Riddle. We know that these guys and gals can tell masterful stories. Fucking Keith Lee. We know that given the chance, they can shine. But again, this is more packed than a fucking Thanksgiving turkey. Relevant. You're welcome. This is stuffed jam full, and it's not just it's not just Survivor Series. It's every card this year. They have way too many people, and then we sit there and we go, well, what about the people that aren't on the show? Which, again, not everybody's going to be able to make the show because, again, if you're putting on a 3-hour show, you have maybe 7 matches, if you're lucky. Unless you're showcasing, 6-man tags and, 12-man ladder matches the entire show, there's not room for everybody on that card. Honestly, and this is an unpopular opinion, I think they should go back to having brand-specific pay-per-views that run 3 hours long, and then the big 4, Rumble, Mania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, have it be 4.5 hours long, but have it be a nice culmination of your bigger stories on those shows.
I enjoyed those days.
I wouldn't...
I'm not going to lie. I enjoyed the days of the brand split where they had their own individual pay-per-views. You never saw Raw guys on SmackDown, SmackDown guys on Raw, unless it was one of those co-branded pay-per-views. And even then, there were some of those pay-per-views where they were co-branded, but the superstars really didn't intermingle too much. You had some SmackDown matches, you had some Raw matches, and that was it. And very rarely did they ever commingle as far as talent in the ring between the brands. I like those days, and if you really look back, those days produced some of the all-time greats. That was the era of, this is going to be unpopular when it comes to WWE, that produced the era of Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Kurt Angle was, riding high. You had John Cena, Batista, those guys were, making their marks. That brand split where things were completely separate, they had separate pay-per-views, it really allowed some of the mid-card talent on those shows to rise to the top, and that's really what we saw at that point. I kind of wish they would go back to that.
Yep, but because the original brand split, I agree, was great. The next to most recent brand split, which would have been before last year's SmackDown debut, so we're talking 3 or 4 years ago now.
Where they had the wild card?
No, even before that.
Before that.
Okay.
But that was kind of the end of that particular defined brand split. But they started out that way where they each had individual pay-per-views, and for whatever reason, it's they couldn't find the talent to pack them. I think the problem is that it was too unbalanced at that point. But now I think the rosters are more equally balanced. you'd have a better shot at it, especially if they're going to insist on, plucking fucking NXT dry every fucking 6 months.
Yep.
I feel like it's funny because I remember whenever there were brand specific pay-per-views, and correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm remembering this incorrectly because my memory is like that of a goldfish. But do you think perhaps we're looking back on that time and looking back on it very fondly? And Ransom did make an excellent point. It did bring about all those stars that deserve that, that were worth their weight in gold and are legends in their own right. But, I remember at the time people being really not okay with it. And people being like, this is different.
Well,
do you think that it's because it was something so different from what they had done before, and people are like, I hate change?
Yes.
Part of it, yeah.
Because if one of my favorite series on the network, and I don't know if they've done the part 2 yet, was the Ruthless Aggression
one.
Yeah.
That was very
and
cool.
where they talked about doing that, where they talked about the first brand split, and like the problem with that was that they lost a ton of major stars. The Rock, Austin, Angle was banged up here and there. Brock Lesnar left for the NFL. Like, they lost a ton of fucking top talent, and there weren't people there ready to take those reins yet. So, at that point, but when you go back and watch those original, like, circa 2001, 2002, 2003 brand split pay-per-views, those some phenomenal action from guys like Elijah Burke, from guys like Kennedy, from guys like Sean O'Hare, guys who wouldn't have had a shot otherwise, I don't think. And the last, like I said, the last brand split that kind of ended with the wild card fiasco. It literally felt like they just couldn't find enough talent to fill a pay-per-view, and it's like, but why though? Maybe I'm misremembering, but it just felt like it fell flat and everybody hated it.
Here's kind of the problem that I have with this year. This is a callback to what Beef said earlier, about the events going like, sports entertained, but if you ask, like, what I remember about this year in wrestling, in WWE, are specific matches. I'm not going to remember events. So, like, I'm just using this as an example. We've talked about before how great this match was. The cinematic match with the Viking Raiders, the Street Profits, the Ninjas, using the Force to grab the turkey leg.
Huh.
I'll remember that match going forward. Even now, we're still in 2020. We're in the end of it, but still, I couldn't tell you what event that took place in. I couldn't even tell you what month that match took place in. So I'm definitely not going to remember this year for the events, aside, like you said, Beef, aside from the Rumble and Mania. Like, I'll remember those two events. But anything else, I'll remember specific matches that were great. But the events themselves, I won't be able to tell you which event those great matches happened in. I have no idea.
Well, and the Rumble's not really fair because that was like the last big thing before the onset of the COVID took hold. So there's that, but I just
but now though, like when you were saying, Beef, before when they did the brand split, they had lost a bunch of talent. They didn't have a whole lot of people. It kind of felt like they were struggling to fill the card. I don't think that's good. I don't think that's even a factor now. Because like we talked about on this pay-per-view, how many people that are big names that are not on this card? I think this is a prime example of if they did that brand split and had brand-specific pay-per-views, superstars that were assigned to a brand, and that's where they stayed. They didn't intermingle. I feel like you have enough talent now to be able to execute that and make it work and not have to worry about going, oh, shit, we don't have enough people to fill this card. Like, what are we going to do? I think you have an overstacked roster now to have everything combined, whereas if you split it off now is the perfect time. You have enough people to split those rosters and to still be able to fill all of your pay-per-views with talent. Like, prime opportunity. Let's go.
Agreed. But I mean, you know, I should probably go back and watch some of the stuff from about 3-4 years ago whenever they tried to do the honest to God brand split, because I feel like the talent was there too, but they just did a poor job of booking angles. They picked the wrong people, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't because for lack of talent. It was for lack of creative vision.
Yes, which
That's
has not changed. Which has not changed. So that tells me that even if they did the brand split, they obviously have, but even if they do, you know, brand specific pay-per-views now, we're probably still going to be saddled with the same shitty shit that we have now. Like, it's just going to be fucking, you know, blue flavored crap or red flavored crap. Enjoy your fucking snow cone and a crap, you know.
Well, at least I get my choice of color crap.
But, you know, like, what's the alternative, though? The alternative is you have pay-per-views where you have big names that just aren't there. Which is better?
Yeah.
No, I'm honestly asking, like, in your opinion, what would you like to see more? Would you like to see pay-per-views like we have now, where you're missing Shinsuke Nakamura, Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, Randy Orton, as far as the official card goes? Or would you rather have, you know, those brand-specific pay-per-views and run the risk of getting blue-flavored crap or red-flavored crap? Like, if Vince McMahon asked you your opinion, what would you give him?
I'd rather they don't fucking continue to bloat the already bloated main roster and let some people go back to NXT. If I'm being real.
Well, that wasn't one of the options.
I know. But realistically, I think doing the brand split pay-per-views, the brand specific pay-per-views is a good format, because I think you will get diamonds in the rough that way. You will get decent matches and you will get cohesive events and you go, that was a great event. Versus now where it's just kind of a mishmash of, well, maybe we'll get a good event, maybe we'll get crap. Who knows?
But what would you rather see?
I like the brand specific thing. I
feel like that big sigh before you said anything spoke volumes.
It's again, you know, to use a different version of what Beef said earlier to me right now, and prefacing this could be just where I'm at in life, speaking through, you know, projecting a bit. It's the choice between the infamous South Park decision of a douche and a turd sandwich. Like, I mean, you know, for me, I like the fact that the brand specific stuff, because then you can, like, just kind of, you know, echoing back the same things that were said, the COVID, things could be more focused. You could give more people more time. You know, titles would feel bigger. The one thing I do miss is one big, dumb, unified belt. I do miss that. Because what belt are we supposed to consider? I understand there's the thing, the Universal Championship is the top belt, and the WWE Championship is the legacy belt. Like, I get that. Like, but it just kind of muddies the waters that way. So it's one of those things you can't have your cake and eat it too. So I personally, just for hopeful development of future stars, giving them separate stages to have their spotlight in, and if played right, which seems to be a statement that we keep fucking making but no one's listening, if they play it right, whenever the people that are in those spotlights collide on a show like Survivor Series, it will feel like this massive, big, dumb deal, as a Big Four show should.
So, Beef, before I cut you off there and ask that question, what were you about to say? What were you about to go into?
Yeah, so speaking of big dumb belts, let's talk about this big dumb belt title change that happened on Raw, which was, I think, the first time in 5 years that the WWE title has changed hands on a Raw. Now, S-Dubs pointed out a wonderful statistic last night, like 4 of the last 5 years or so, one of the main titles has changed hands on a weekly serial just before Survivor Series. It happened with AJ and I think Daniel Bryan, right? I don't remember exactly who AJ beat, but it happened with AJ Styles. It happened with Kofi last year with Brock Lesnar, and then now it's happened with Drew McIntyre most recently beating Orton. Why? I want to hear you guys' take. Why? Let's do this. Wrong answers only. Why did Randy Orton have a 2-week title reign to interrupt Drew McIntyre's first title reign? Go.
Look, I'm going to need another beer for this. Give me a second.
I can tell you exactly why. Ready?
Yeah.
Wrong answers only, right?
Yeah.
Or wrong answers only, correct?
Sure.
Randy Orton had a 2-week run. He beat Drew McIntyre and then dropped it back to Drew McIntyre on a Raw because WWE knew that we were going to go through another toilet paper shortage. They're like, well, you know what? Toilet paper is going to get scarce. We're going to give these guys a reason to need to wipe their asses. Here it is.
Fucking fantastic. Also,
but seriously though, Beef.
Quit doing that. Everybody, quit fucking hoarding toilet paper and fucking going out. Just stop it. Just fucking stop it. Be better humans. Go ahead. Go ahead,
you know what? I say keep doing it. And I say everybody needs to pick something that they're going to hoard. So some people are hoarding toilet paper. I'm going to start fucking hoarding Rice-A-Roni. You are not going to see Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco damn it treat,
you fucking
on any shelf in Western Pennsylvania. I'm going to fucking buy it all. Every single flavor, every one. No Rice-A-Roni.
Ranting just sitting on a fucking iron throne full of Rice-A-Roni boxes.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to fill up a fucking above-ground swimming pool with it and Scrooge McDuck that bastard. I'm going to swim through uncooked rice and vermicelli, or however you pronounce that other, long grain.
Vermicelli.
I'm going to swim through that shit. And when I'm nice and sweaty, having swam my ass through an above-ground swimming pool of uncooked rice, I'm going to open up every single one of those flavor packets and dump it all over myself. I'm going to be the tastiest, sweatiest, angriest, stupidest wrestling fan you have ever met. Cook me up in a skillet, bitch.
I love it. I love it. Poot, what do you think? You back with your beer yet?
He's dead.
He's gone.
He's dead. But no, I have to ask you a serious question, though, Beef.
Go ahead.
Honestly, though, all wrong answers aside, why did that need to happen? That seriously was just a hot potatoing of the title. Like, none of that made any sense to me. You had Orton beat McIntyre on a pay-per-view. 2 weeks later, he drops it clean on a Raw. There wasn't even any tomfoolery afoot. Shawn Michaels didn't super kick him. Christian wasn't involved. Fucking Mankind wasn't there. There was no Ric Flair.
Woo.
I don't understand. I don't understand why they had to hot potato that title like they did. Who did that help? It helped nobody.
What was Ransom's wrong answer? The inquiring
wrong answer before I went into this tirade was WWE did that because they knew that we were going to go through another toilet paper shortage, and they just wanted to be like, hey, you know what? Toilet paper is going to be scarce. Let's make all these wrestling fans shit themselves, and they'll have nothing to wipe with but their own hand.
It's about right.
Or leaves. It's fall.
Beef, did you give yours?
I have not.
Okay. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
Go right ahead.
All right. Well, you know what? We've been saying it for months, and finally, someone at WWE has listened to our podcast. They've listened to the fans, like when the whole McMahon H family came out, and they talked and they said, "We're gonna give you what you want." They finally did, man. You know, I'm really, really happy to see that they're finally giving the opportunity, although short, to young, strong, up-and-coming talent that has great potential one day. I mean, it's fun, it's interesting, and it's different. I mean, that Randy Orton guy has the look of a catcher's mitt that was kept in the oven for far too long, which is something you just don't see often. He looks lackadaisical at occasions and disinterested and thinking about RKOing his wife into a hot tub. Like, that's what I want to see on my programming. And then I want to see him lose the belt and then go the F away for a while, because why not?
You're both wrong. You're both wrong. The reason that Randy Orton had a 2-week title run is because they looked back at WrestleMania 34 and they said to 33, I think. Yeah, it was 33. And they said to themselves, man, that the crazy witch angle with Bray Wyatt was just the best. And that House of Horrors match was just outstanding between Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. We need to reward Randy Orton for his work during that wonderful angle by giving him a 2-week title reign.
Well, it's certainly not stupid. I'll tell you that.
But in all honesty, so the only thing that I can make any sense of on this is that Vince changed his mind. That they are so bad at long-term booking that Vince said, you know what? Let's not do that. I think they got cold feet because I think, honestly, and Ransom, you mentioned this earlier about, and even in your little the Ransom cast earlier, where who does the title champion versus champion match benefit? Nobody. Whereas if Orton was the champion and he eats that pin from Roman Reigns, Orton's a bona fide legend, Hall of Famer. He's not going to lose any credit from losing the Roman Reigns. So I seriously think that at that point they were like, hey, you know what? Let's put the title belt on Orton and have him lose to Reigns. Much the way that they did with The Fiend and Goldberg last year. And then they were like, wait, fuck. Reigns versus McIntyre is a better matchup. Let's do that instead. That's the only thing I can think.
Yeah, I honestly, really, I have no idea what the reasoning could be behind that, other than, like you said, they either got cold feet, or it was one of those things where they made the title change, and then a week after that, Vince went, "Nah,
Balls.
I don't like that. Like, let's do a do-over. Let's just give it back to McIntyre, and we'll pretend that this never happened."
And that was the meeting that Triple H wasn't in, so he could go, Dad, they're gonna remember that he just won the belt about 2 weeks ago, and he's going to go, what? Fuck them. No, they won't.
Fuck them. Yeah, I don't understand it. We talk about WWE hot potatoing titles, and, I don't know. I feel I don't owe it to anybody. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not placating to the fans. A fan, Mid-Card Maniac. I'm not placating to anybody here, but it always sounds like we shit on WWE and we praise AEW. I think there comes a point where it's like, you know what? There's a reason behind that. It's not just because people were jaded about WWE and we like to bitch about them. There's a reason. Long-term booking makes sense. Long-term booking is engaging and it keeps people's attention. AEW has long-term booking. Look at their champion. Look at the AEW champion. There's been 2. WWE hot potatoes titles like it's no one's. They hot potato that title around like it's a live grenade. Like, oh shit, I got the championship, give it to somebody else. Like, oh fuck, it's gonna blow up in my hand. There's no vision, at least none that I can see. Maybe there is a grander picture that we are so not picking up on. I highly doubt it. But it seems like there's no vision. It's, hey, what do we want to do this week? Okay, 2 weeks later, hey, what do we want to do this week?
Well, and the thing is, it'd be super great if we were sitting here and it was like, man, how great would it be if there was this big long-term thing and there's just going to be some big twist payout and we all go, oh, damn. You know what I mean? But
yeah,
but
I've got it.
But well,
I've got it.
Hold on. But more than likely, because all the reports that have come out from backstage of saying it's a hot trash nightmare, you know, how do you even come close to believing that? Beef? You've got it? Tell us your epiphany.
I know exactly the reason why McIntyre won that title back. You want to know?
Yes, I want to know.
Who's got the Money in the Bank contract?
The Mizzy.
Miz.
Mm-hmm. A heel. Mm-hmm. What are we seeing zero of this Sunday?
The Miz.
Also, 0 title matches. No titles are up for grabs.
Oh no, this is going to be the one. This is it.
I believe that Reigns and McIntyre will have a hard-fought match, and I think the Miz will come out and capitalize at the end.
Well, shit, damn.
Thus, giving a second title change in a week, which is silly. Is absolutely silly.
But you're grinning. You're grinning right now.
I am, because it's God help me, it's the fucking smart money. Because McIntyre is I think, a far better challenger and a better chase than he is a champion. The money is in the chase. So if you put McIntyre in a position where he has to chase that belt all the way back to WrestleMania, where you could potentially have some fans, or, you know, maybe everything's fucking shut down at that point. We don't fucking know at this point.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of positivity right now that maybe things will be okay. And maybe we'll see some fans at WrestleMania. So you're putting McIntyre in position to start the climb back. Let's say that the Miz wins, and that they don't have. Remember, they don't have automatic rematches anymore, so the Miz can duck McIntyre. And I don't know, say like AJ Styles or somebody beats the Miz somewhere in early January or so, and then you're setting the table for McIntyre to have a big Royal Rumble, even winning for a second year in a row, to capture the belt again.
So do you think that they're really working a full-blown angle to where they did not envision things being shut down for this year's WrestleMania, where they were supposed to have Drew McIntyre's big payoff in front of a huge crowd? So now WWE really is thinking ahead and playing the long game, saying, okay, we're going to have Miz cash in that Money in the Bank, take the title off of McIntyre, and we're going to hedge our bets, and we're going to bank Money in the Bank. We're going to bank on being able to have a crowd at the 2021 Mania, and that's what we're going to have our Drew McIntyre do-over. He's going to win it in front of a crowd. We're going to get the big pop. We're going to get the confetti. It's going to be great. Is that what you're thinking?
Just saying, it's not the worst idea in the world.
I like how it wasn't yes or no. It was like, just saying it's a good idea. Anyway, you're not wrong. You're not wrong though. They'll get their year-long awaited redo.
I fucking hate them if they do it. Which now would be the time. Now would be the time to do it, because Miz will never have a better opportunity than he does this Sunday. I fucking hate them swapping the title twice in 1 week. Like, that just is the drizzlingest of shits.
Wait. The McIntyre Reigns match. Is that title
Go
for
on.
title? Am I confused?
No. What
But
Beef is saying is it's going to be a hard-fought match.
Oh, I'm dumb.
McIntyre's
I'm
going
dumb.
to
I get it.
lose. He's going to be exhausted. He's going to be beat down by Reigns, and that's when Miz cashes in. And we have yet another title change in the same week, which, coming from the company that had pay-per-views at back-to-back Sundays, it really wouldn't surprise me.
Just
Really wouldn't.
it just came to me. And again, I hate the vehicle by which they're doing it, but means to an end. If it works out the way they want it to, plus, and I'll shoehorn this in this discussion. It was announced today that the Thunderdome is moving to the Tropicana Field,
Thunderdome.
which is a bigger venue than the Amway Center.
When does that take place? When does that happen?
December the 11th.
Okay.
So I believe that they are probably going to start trying to get some fans. I think that's I think they see what, and despite our fucking spike right now, being fucking worse than it was in March. Honestly, I think that companies like AEW, WWE, the NFL, NCAA, they're preying on people getting bored with trying to do the right thing, and they're like, "Fuck it, I'm not gonna waste any more of my life. We'll see what happens. Let's roll them dice." So, Florida is a particular, like we've discussed before. Florida is a particular kind of no man's
nightmare.
land.
You're right.
It's a particular no man's land in this because they're like, "Hey, do what you want, figure it out, whatever." And I think that WWE is ultimately going to try to put people in the Tropicana Field sooner rather than later because it's a bigger area where they can social distance people.
Is that an open air arena?
No, it's a baseball stadium. I think it has a retractable roof. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Okay.
But it's a baseball stadium. I think that they had a Royal Rumble there maybe 2 years ago. No, that was the Astrodome. I don't know. But regardless, I think that they are trying to move into that realm where they're going to get some live people in for the shows. And I think that something like this would start that process well. I think
that's a pretty good point. I don't think you're wrong.
I appreciate it.
I don't think you're wrong. I know Poot is going to want to wrap this show up soon, so I'm going to defer to him on this. Poot, do we have time for a Stump the Champs?
Oh, we always have time for a Stump the Champs.
Ooh. From what the Maniac has said in conversing with us, it seems like this one is going to be a softball in his opinion.
Okay.
So we're either going to get it right away, or this is going to be the one that kills us.
This is going to be the one. Yep. That's it. As soon as he said that in the Discord that this is going to be a softball, I'm like, well, this is going to be the one that trips us up. Alrighty then.
We're going to go back to chumps.
How you got Tuesday in Texas last time is beyond me. Anyway, today's question is, who were the 14 men? What? Who were the? Oh, I got most of this. Who were the 14 men that participated in the WrestleMania 4 tournament for the vacant WWF Championship?
WrestleMania,
wow.
Which one? 4.
WrestleMania 4, yes sir. Trump Plaza. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna start writing some stuff down.
Well,
I literally rented
probably one
video
of the
from
least
Silver
watched
Screen
Manias for
about
me.
6 times. Sorry, go ahead.
That's probably one of the least watched Manias for me, but I have watched it a handful of times. I know that DiBiase was in there. I know that.
Mhm.
And I know Steamboat was there.
Yep.
Was Bigelow there by that point?
I don't think so. So here's who I got immediately, because like I said, I rented this tape. It was one of those big fucking double VHS cassettes like Titanic was, and I rented this from Silver Screen like 95 times. So I love the tournament. I have several. I have Hulk and Andre. I know for sure
Okay.
because the title was held up because of the shiftiness that happened with the title with them too, and they actually battled to a draw, which gave DiBiase a bye. Or no, it may have been One Man Gang. Anyway, so those two I know for sure.
One Man Gang. Oh wow.
One Man Gang for sure was in there. Macho Man won the tournament, so he for sure was in there. DiBiase was in there. Steamboat was in there because they were sort of kind of like the Macho Man and Macho Man and Steamboat were like a bracket apart. So it was like setting up for a second round match between those two to recreate WrestleMania 3, but it never transpired because I think Steamboat lost in the first round. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 off the bat.
All right. So what are your 6?
So, all right. So this is WrestleMania 4.
WrestleMania 4.
So
Again, Hulk,
I would
Andre,
have to imagine. Oh, go
One
ahead.
Man Gang, Macho Man, DiBiase, Steamboat. I know for a fucking fact.
So I would have to imagine at this point in time, just being the time frame, Jim Duggan probably would have been involved, or at least on this pay-per-view.
No, I don't think he was. I'll put him in the maybe, but he doesn't occur to me.
Yeah, but this was like primetime Duggan.
Yeah.
Primetime Duggan was a couple years later.
Well, okay. All right, you're not
But he
wrong.
at least would have still been in the upper mid cards, and probably would have been involved in this tournament, though, right?
I don't think he was.
Wait. Wasn't that
Valentine was in the tournament for sure too.
what?
Yeah,
Greg
the
Valentine?
hammer was. Write him
Okay.
down.
So Valentine, wasn't this the reason why One Man Gang made a noise in that? You mentioned One Man Gang, and I started putting it together. Wasn't that the thing that he had a bye because there was a tie?
Yeah, it was the Hogan Andre match. So Savage, I don't remember Savage's first round opponent. Savage beat DiBiase in the finals, and in the semifinals, Savage beat One Man Gang, who was coming off of a bye.
Are
Who did
you
One
sure
Man
the
Gang
Andre?
face, though?
Are you sure the bye was given because of Andre
100%.
Hogan?
I would bet everything I own that the bye. Wait,
No.
There were 2 buys. There were 2 buys because normally it would be a 16-man tournament, right?
Yeah,
But
the other.
hold on, let me talk. I know this for a fucking fact. Normally this would be a 16-man tournament. Hogan and Andre both had a bye past the first round because they were the two that were involved in the in the title match that held up the title. So the theory was that the winner of that match would go immediately to the semifinals, and then obviously the winner of that semifinal match would then go to the finals. So Hogan and Andre both got a bye to begin with, and then a second bye was given to the One Man Gang. I think it was One Man Gang. It may have been DiBiase.
Was it?
Because
No,
Savage beat One Man Gang. Of that, I'm certain.
Use your words.
I'm trying to think how to I'm remembering Jake Roberts.
Yeah, Jake was in it.
Jake.
Yep.
Jake was in there.
Was the model? No, that would have been too early for model.
It was Rick Rude. It was Rick Rude.
Rick Rude.
Not
Yep.
Rick Martel.
Yeah.
It was Rick Rude.
Yep. They were both. Wait. Because there was, on top of the tournament happening at the show, like all happening at the same show, there was also an Intercontinental title match and also a tag team title match. Was Rude versus Roberts the Intercontinental title match?
No.
I no.
Okay.
No, they were both in this tournament.
Okay.
All right. So what do we have so far?
Who the fuck?
Yeah.
So for certain we have Andre, Hulk, One Man Gang, Macho, DiBiase, Steamboat, Valentine. I'm fairly certain you're right about Roberts and Rick Rude. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would leave 6 spots left. Honky Tonk Man was in the Intercontinental title match, so I don't think he was in the tournament.
Bam Bam Bigelow was in it.
In the tournament?
Yeah. Yeah, Bam Bam was in it. I'm pretty sure that Bam Bam and what's his face?
One Man Gang.
Yes, they had a match together because it was two big dudes.
It was two big boys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What about
I will defer because I don't remember that. And so Bam Bam had a stint. Was Bam Bam in ECW? I think Bam Bam was in ECW, right?
This was
and then
after
came to the Fed.
that was well after that.
That was after the Fed. You're right. Sorry, go ahead.
All right. Okay, how much of what was the Vice show?
The what? Oh, Dark Side of the Ring.
Dark Side of the Ring. Didn't they talk about a guy? There was the episode about the mysterious death of whoever. Didn't they talk about trying to bring him in to the Fed around this time?
Campatera.
Yeah. What did he go by?
Campatera.
Was it Campatera?
No, but the Dino Bravo.
Dino Bravo.
I'm fairly certain was in this
Okay.
because he was I forget what they were calling him, like King Dino Bravo or something.
Yeah, and I remember that because they were like they brought him in because he was a rock star in Canada.
Yep, that's him.
And they brought him in and he just fell flat.
So I think Dino Bravo may have been Macho Man's first round opponent. Going backwards, Macho Man beat DiBiase in the finals. He beat One Man Gang in the semis. I don't know his other two matches.
Well, all right. So early on, this is big brain time. This is not smooth brain time. Like
fucking maniac. This will be a softball.
You knew it wasn't going to be a softball.
It pisses me off because I can't tell you how many fucking times I watched this fucking tournament.
We said Dino Bravo.
Yes.
Who did Dino Bravo face?
I think he may have been Macho Man's first round victory. I think. I'm not 100%, but I think. I don't think Beefcake was in this. Beefcake may have been Honky Tonk's Intercontinental title opponent.
So what are we right now?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, run the names again.
Hulk, Andre, Gang, Macho, DiBiase, Steamboat, Valentine, Roberts, Rude, Bam Bam, Bravo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
So we're at 11.
3. We have 3 more slots.
Now, didn't you say there? How many people were supposed to be?
14.
Wait, 14?
14 people in this tournament. There were 14 people.
Okay. Okay.
What about Boss Man?
Who is clicking through something? Is somebody cheating?
Yeah, it's me. No, it's me on my pen.
Oh, okay.
Beef's pen clicking over there.
Fidgeting.
What about Boss Man? I get the feeling that Boss Man could have been here.
I think that was too early for Boss Man.
No, this was Twin Towers time. Like, this would have been before the Twin Towers because One Man Gang was Akeem. The African Dream.
I don't remember Boss Man. But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything, though. Because I didn't remember a lot of these guys that you were talking about.
So we're still light 3 people.
God, I need to just go back and watch older shit because it's so foggy in my head.
You know, I tried to watch this one a couple years ago, and it did not hold up well.
Yeah, but still,
I know he's in the maybe category, but I'm almost fairly certain that Jim Duggan was in this. Like, I really feel like he was.
Okay, I'll give that to you because I think you're right because I think he ran into DiBiase at one point, and he was like favored to win DiBiase, and he beat him somehow. Oh, I think Andre helped DiBiase beat Duggan.
Probably.
Okay.
So that's 12.
Who?
So we need 2 more.
Right.
You're saying Dino Bravo and Randy Savage went first round.
I think so.
All right.
And
Dude, we got Jake Roberts, right?
yeah,
There's
I think Rick Rude or Valentine may have been Macho's second round. I'm not 100% on that though.
I feel like we're screwing something up here. Like they're like lineup wise.
I'm trying to think who was up against Steamboat because I remember that it was the one like quarter of the bracket was Savage and somebody, Steamboat and somebody.
Steamboat got beat by Valentine.
Okay.
He got beat by Valentine because I
Macho Man beat
remember
Valentine in the second round. You're right.
I
Yep.
remember watching that, and it was the following year because the previous year wasn't WrestleMania 3. That was Randy Savage. Yeah, that was Randy Savage Valentine.
That's what I'm saying. They're trying to recreate that match, but somebody beat Steamboat on the way. So yeah, that reinforces my thought that Savage and Valentine locked up. So yes.
Okay, who did Savage? I know you're saying Dino Bravo, but I don't
That's
feel
a
like
maybe.
that's right. I don't feel like that's right. I feel like Dino Bravo faced someone else.
Dino Bravo.
Were there 3 buys?
No.
No, that would have been too many.
Because I feel like Jake and Rude fought to a buy. Maybe not.
Okay. Let's
Don
start.
Morocco.
What?
But, yep. Don Morocco.
Don
was on
Morocco.
for sure. Don Morocco and Dino Bravo faced off, and I think Dino Bravo beat Don Morocco.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yep.
we have one more. We need Randy
1,
Savage's
2, 3,
opponent.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
We need Randy Savage's opponent. Because we said Randy Savage, he went on to win the whole damn thing.
Yes, he did.
Okay.
He beat Valentine in the second round, One Man Gang in the third after Gang got.
So who was
Why do
his
I keep
first round
thinking-
opponent then?
That's what I'm saying. I don't.
Okay. Fuck.
Listen, I feel really fucking good about this list, by the way.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
here's how I'm seeing it play out. Savage was on the opposite side of the bracket from Hogan and Andre. So when Hogan and Andre went to a draw, DiBiase got that bye. I know that for certain. I think there was a second draw, and I think it was Roberts and Rude, and I think One Man Gang may have gotten that bye to face Savage in the semis.
All right.
I
that could
think.
have happened. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Again, let's focus in here.
So who was Savage's first opponent? Damn it.
Who was Savage's first win?
So who would have been around at that time then that we haven't talked about?
It's not Bret Hart.
No.
This would have been before he would have been in the title hunt.
No, it wasn't. I don't. Was it Warlord? No, I don't think it
No.
was Warlord. Virgil?
No.
No, he was with. Wasn't he with DiBiase at the
that
time?
point. Yeah,
But he
okay.
wasn't active in the tournament.
It wasn't JYD, was it?
Well, I have no idea.
See, he was coming to mind for me, but
I don't
he
feel
definitely
like
wouldn't have beat. He definitely wouldn't have fought Macho.
no, at that point I don't think JY. Yeah, that's the other thing is like I don't
I'm
think they
feeling
would have
less
done
and less
that to
confident because
JYD
now I'm trying to-
too.
Now I'm trying to put together the other side of the tournament where how DiBiase got to the finals.
Don't do that. Stay focused.
Okay.
Because you're gonna overthink and I'm trying to keep you out of the weeds.
All right.
All right. Let's think of people.
I'm going to be thinking, but I'm going to be peeing. So I'm going to mute.
What are some names from them? Volkov?
Nobody wants to hear that.
No. Nope. No.
Kozlov.
No,
Wait, no, that's not right.
Wasn't Shiki, baby, that's for sure.
Shit.
Fucking bullshit. Oh hell, who was it?
It wasn't Jacques Rougeau.
No. Wasn't the Mountie. It was still too early for the Mountie.
Oh, I think I got it. I think I got it.
Yes?
Butch Reed.
Who?
Butch Reed. Because it was Savage getting the quick win early on.
I don't even know who Butch Reed is.
Like, my heart is like pumping right now.
Okay.
It just popped into my head.
All right.
I'm just saying it's a name that just popped into my head. Like, that's just keep that in mind. Because there's people like Bad News Brown.
No, I don't think it was Bad News. It's too early for Warrior. Honky Tonk was in the Intercontinental title match.
And we said it wasn't Hart. It wasn't Neidhart.
No. It wasn't either of the Natural Disasters. It was before IRS.
All right, sorry, I was peeing, so I couldn't chime in there. But when Poot said Butch Reed, I peed on my shoe a little bit because I was like, "That's it." So I went a little wild on the stream there. Don't cross the streams. But that's it. It's Butch Reed.
All right,
what do we got?
Back.
Yeah,
we
count
got
them off.
Hulk Andre, Gang, Macho Man, DiBiase, Steamboat, Valentine, Roberts, Rude, Bam Bam, Dino Bravo, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Morocco, and Butch Reed.
That's 14.
That's 14.
Do you want to lock this in?
How do we consider if we win or lose? Like how is this like all or nothing? Like if we don't get all 14, we lose. Okay.
Yep, it's all or nothing.
Okay.
Because this is a pretty damn good list, though, that I think we put together.
I feel good about it.
If anything, I can only see us being wrong on maybe one.
Right. All right. So are we locking it in?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this, though.
Okay.
I don't
Hogan,
know.
Check. Andre, check. DiBiase, check. Savage, check. Duggan, check. Don Morocco, check. Dino Bravo, check. Valentine, check. Steamboat, check. Butch Reed, check. Bam Bam, check. Roberts, check. Rude, check. Ladies and gentlemen, as the wonderful Bianca Belair likes to say, we are undefeated.
Fuck you, maniac.
Yeah. When you read off, because the two that I had in question were, even though it was my pick, Duggan, because Beef had me doubting myself a little bit there, and I thought it was going to be Butch Reed, but that was the other one that I was questioning. So when you read those two off, it's like, all right, we got it.
I had most of this. You motherfuckers knew the ones that I didn't know, and that's why we are a wonderful team, because we hold each other up, motherfuckers.
Yo, dude. I'm fucking this shit. I love the questions Maniac comes up with because they make me feel that, seriously, sitting here and having to work on this and get this stuff out and think back to this stuff that I haven't watched in an age and a half makes me remember how much I loved wrestling.
Listen, this is fucking scary. I'm gonna run through this because we got most of this shit right. DiBiase beat Duggan. Somebody said that. Morocco and Dino Bravo. I said that. Valentine was the one that beat Steamboat, so Poot, you said that. Savage beat Butch Reed. Poot, you said that. Ransom said One Man Gang and Bam Bam. I call Roberts and Rude versus in a time limit draw. That happened. Hogan and Andre, double disqualification. That happened. The one that we didn't really put together was DiBiase versus Morocco. And then obviously Savage versus Valentine. And then, the Intercontinental title match was Beefcake and Honky Tonk. Savage versus One Man Gang. So One Man Gang did get a bye there. And then, Savage versus Ted DiBiase.
God, we're good.
In the tag team title match was the people that I just said, the Strike Force versus Demolition.
Oh,
good
nice.
Lord.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing about these questions, though. if these questions were posed to us individually, we wouldn't have got. We wouldn't
Not
get
even
them.
close.
Oh, no chance.
So many of these Stump the Champs from the Maniac. If any of these questions would have been a hot tag trivia question, we wouldn't have gotten them.
No,
because not one of us knew the complete answer to many of these past Stump the Champs questions. Like, we've had to really think and bounce stuff off each other to put it together. Like, we wouldn't have been able to come up with it on our own.
Fucking Butch Reed, man.
I remember.
Duggan. I was really doubting Duggan, and as soon as you said about Bam Bam and One Man, I'm like, okay, I remember that. But fucking Butch Reed, I never in my wildest imagination I would have called Butch Reed.
The reason why is because I remember you telling me, Beef, to watch WrestleMania 4. It was not many, but a couple years ago when I was down there for a Mania weekend. And I was talking, and you were telling me about, like, classic Manias, and I was sitting there going, I don't, you know, like, I didn't want to watch them. And you said, no, dude, you need to watch WrestleMania, like, 3, WrestleMania 4. And WrestleMania 3, you said, if not for nothing else other than Steamboat Savage. And then you said you need to watch WrestleMania 4 because of that tournament. And I remember... I couldn't remember at first when we started this all off. There was someone who faced Jobber McJobberson. And I couldn't remember until we started going through stuff. And I'm like, and you started putting matches together. And I went, oh, yeah, that's right. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, Savage had to have been the one that faced Jobber McJobberson. What was his name? And I'm sitting here and I'm just thinking, and it just hit me.
Yeah, when Poot said the name, I remember, here's the thing about that guy. I remember the name from this tournament, but if you show me a picture of Butch Reed and go, who's this guy? I'd have no idea. I have no idea what he looks like. I remember the name, but I don't remember the face.
Not only did we kick so much ass with the names, I'm fairly certain that if we had more time, we could have put together the fucking brackets and figured it out that way.
Listen, see, you need to not say shit like that because now Maniac's going to come back even harder. He's
Don't
gonna
listen to this, Maniac. Don't.
Everybody started the fucking Deadly Games tournament because that's next.
Fuck.
Maniac.
And then Brawl for All.
Oh, Brawl for God damn Brawl for All. I love the Dark Side of the Ring on Brawl for All, by the way. If you haven't watched that, that's our recommendation for this week. Fuck you guys. That's our recommendation.
That was a really good episode of Dark Side of the Ring. Was the Brawl for All episode. That was a really good one.
Because
I'm going to go back and watch that one again tonight because that was phenomenal.
Because I remember watching that and being like, when I was a kid watching Brawl for All, I personally, when I was a dumb kid, loved Brawl for All. I thought it was a cool idea. Because I was just getting into boxing, so like it was a neat thing, and I'm like, oh, it's mixing this new thing I like, plus it's the planned thing of wrestling. Not a goddamn thing was planned, and people got hurt, and like shit was dangerous. Oh, it's so good. Go watch the Vice series Dark Side of the Ring and watch the episode on the Brawl for All. Also, watch the one on not Don Morocco. Dino Bravo. Watch that one too. It's really good.
Yeah. Like you said, Poot, when I went back, like if I think back to the time of the Brawl for All, I'm like you. I thought like, oh, this is a super neat idea. I'm super interested. And when I look back on it, I remember thinking, this is really fun, really entertaining. Like I really liked it. But after knowing what we know about wrestling now, and the inner workings of it, and then, you know, especially watching that Dark Side of the Ring thing, that was the worst idea probably in wrestling history.
It was one of the few times.
It was off, you know, well, you know, take away Owen Hart, you know, rappelling from the ceiling. That was a pretty stupid idea itself. But yeah, like it was awful. What a terrible idea, knowing what we know now about the business and how wrestling works.
Oh, God, it was so dangerous because it was sending testosterone-fueled guys out there saying, "Hey, prove who's tougher."
Yep. Yeah, and not only that, but they legit pay guys. Like if you won, you got money.
Oh yeah,
bigger purses. Yep.
So they had extra incentive not only to prove that they were the manliest men in the locker room, but they were getting paid if they won. So they were legitimately going out there trying to punch out their opponents, guys who they're supposed to be wrestling with and protecting each other in the ring. Now they're going out there trying to batter each other down.
And it became a thing in the back of the locker room. Like, it was like, oh, you're going to get knocked out by so-and-so. Oh,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So not only did they hurt each other in the ring, fighting each other for, guts, glory, and money, but then they had bragging rights in the locker room. People fueling each other up, getting angry at each other, getting pissed at each other, going like, oh, I'm going to knock you out. Like, oh, bullshit. I'll go out there and kick your ass. And then,
My favorite part was whenever Bart Gunn won the Brawl for All, because he wasn't supposed to win the Brawl for All. They decided to bury him by having him to face legit tough guy Butterbean, who wasn't the greatest boxer, but obviously if you put a guy, as we've learned with CM Punk, if you put a guy that has experience in one arena against another one who has very little, it's always going to turn out in the favor of the guy that has the experience.
And you know what the thing is, like, hearing Bart Gunn's take on it, motherfucker actually, like, worked to, like, be ready for Butterbean.
And that's the thing about Bart Gunn, too, though. If you look back at the era of the Smoking Guns, he was good in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good wrestler. And this stupid Brawl for All
ruined it.
Tanked the rest of his career. He really could have been, who knows? Like, who knows how high he could have risen in the ranks of professional wrestling if he would have just stuck to wrestling and not have, gotten freaking squashed and buried and beat to shreds by stupid-ass Butterbean. Don't listen to this, Butterbean. Please don't come and get me.
It's one of the...
Get him, boys.
Get me, boys.
It's one of the few times that I agree with Jim Cornette. Like, because Jim Cornette was like, you had like money in this guy, in Bart Gunn, like in the even in the short term. No offense to Bart Gunn, please don't come get me, Bart Gunn. But like, you had money in he was a valid talent. You could have pushed him.
If they would have left well enough alone and just had Bart Gunn win the tournament and then just let it be done, he had legit cred at that point. If the Butterbean thing never would have happened, Bart Gunn probably could have gone somewhere.
I have a legit sort of kind of news piece that is worth, and I know, Poot, you want to run, but so I just read on WrestleZone, which is a decent site for things, that you can get a cameo video with the Undertaker for $1,000. Now, I don't care about the price. I don't care about the Undertaker, but isn't this why Selena Vega got fired? Was because she started an OnlyFans and like wouldn't play ball, and all of a sudden, fucking Mark Calloway. I don't know, man. That rubs me the wrong fucking way.
There
are different stipulations for different people. I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't want to go into a tirade here because I understand Poot wants to get to Chipotle and have himself a burrito time, but. Seriously, though, look at it. Some people get popped for the wellness policy 3 times. Done. Goodbye. How many times have we talked about Randy Orton getting popped for the wellness policy, and he just was the WWE champion for the stupid 10th time?
And I was actually
There's different standards.
I was actually just informed that Cameo seems like it has like the money goes to like good like charities and things. So that may be a
it can.
Oh, it can.
It can. Like, you
can.
It can. Yeah, you like if you can have it just be another source of income. That was actually a thing for a lot of celebrities and talent. You know what I mean? But
different stipulations for different people, man. Selena Vega is no Undertaker, so the Undertaker can do it because he's the Undertaker. Is Vince going to fire him? Fuck no.
Also, I want to preface something just in case anyone's hearing about this now. Zelina Vega's OnlyFans, of course, OnlyFans rose to prominence because of sex work, basically. But OnlyFans is also a platform for people to do crafts and trades and hobbies and stuff like that. And Zelina Vega's OnlyFans because if she was doing something like what people think of OnlyFans for, pretty sure Tommy End would just kick you in the brain and make you die. Hers was for a cosplay channel where she would do cosplay, like, and show off her cosplay she did. And she's really, really good at cosplay. She's super good at it.
So it wasn't like she didn't get fired because Zelina Vega was doing OnlyFans porn.
No.
Right.
Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is a lot of YouTube thumbnails and news articles will be salacious with it and put a picture of her dressed as like Diva with an OnlyFans thing under it, and people immediately go, oh, what was Zelina Vega up to? And it's like, showing off the fact that she dressed up like Diva. That's why. Like, you know, and so that's the thing. I think she saw the writing on the wall, and frankly, I wouldn't mind one of two things. Either seeing, and I refuse to call him Aleister Black now because of his terrible theme music. I'm going to call him by his indie name, which is, in my opinion, is way better. The anti-hero, Tommy End. Tommy End, I would like to see him go back to NXT, or I would like to see him go to NJPW or AEW, or even to an extent, I wouldn't mind seeing him in Impact or Raw. Like,
that's a great statement there, Poot. It really is.
FYI, he tried to go to NXT and they denied it. I don't know if that was prior to Zelina getting fired or after, but I know that there was like that her getting fired was a part of that, and it was denied.
Wow.
I will say,
because let's keep our talent miserable for as long as we possibly can.
I'll tell you what, they yet again another talent that WWE had all the money in the universe in. I'm never going to forget his debut appearance on NXT when he came out and the match was 4 seconds because he hit the Black Mass kick.
Cassius Ohno.
It was on it was bam, 1, 2, 3, done. And I was like, this guy has it.
Mm-hmm.
I bought an Aleister Black t-shirt immediately. I'm talking immediately. And I was all in on this Aleister Black thing. And they seemed to be 100% behind him. He came up. They made him a rock star, and then they just buried the fuck out of him. And they're making him miserable. And that's the other thing. You want to make someone absolutely want to leave a company, attack his wife. Like, because, you know, I think that if you watch, actually it's funny, on the network, because they own the Progress stuff, WWE.
Yep.
Progress is under the umbrella.
No, not Progress, Evolve.
Evolve, sorry. Yes, Evolve. If you go and watch, and you actually hear his commentary in between, Tommy End gives his commentary on the match you're about to watch from Evolve when he was doing his solo stuff as the anti-hero Tommy End, and then when he was doing the tag stuff. I can't remember the name of his tag partner, but their tag name was the best tag team name ever, the Sumerian Death Squad.
Good Lord.
They had all the money in the universe with him, and they fucked it up. And I think, honestly, of any of those options that I threw out there, I'd love to see him go to New Japan. I think that Tommy End would be a rock star in New Japan.
Fucking Tommy End versus Tomohiro Ishii.
Ugh.
Tommy End versus Minoru Suzuki. Even a Clash
Tommy
of
End
Styles
versus
match with,
Evil.
Yeah, even a Clash of Styles match with Tommy End and Zack Sabre Jr. I think would be absolute just tits.
Well, and
all right, so listen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pooh. Go ahead.
I was going to say it's because Tommy End can work a match with a Zack Sabre Jr. and make it work. Like, it would be perfect. And it would make him a super hot commodity. So, somehow, if this reaches Aleister Black's ears, please leave there and go be Tommy End and be awesome.
All right, so listen. One last very fast thing before burrito time. This is going to be a hot take, so you can keep it as short as you want. I have 2 questions to pose. It's a 2-parter. Here we go. Zelina Vega. Does she continue in wrestling? Or does she go and do some other things? Does she pursue something else? B, if she continues in wrestling, where do you see her ending up? Beef.
Yes, she continues in wrestling. I believe that she will probably end up in AEW.
Poot.
Yes, and also AEW or Impact.
She was an Impact before, FYI.
I mean, they're not floundering. I mean, they're not doing super great, but they're putting out a halfway decent product, which is high praise from Caesar for Impact. So, I think I would see her. Honestly, I would see her go to AEW because I think her talents were wasted in WWE.
Yep.
I concur with both of you. I imagine she stays in wrestling, and likewise, AEW seems like the best bet.
Really fast count news, and it's probably 2 weeks old at this point. Did you hear about old Machine Gun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what
that's
happened?
sad. Fill him in really quick before we burrito time.
Apparently, I must have Machine Gun Kelly. Jesus, Machine Gun Carl Anderson, with his wonderfully hot Asian wife, was apparently found out that he had been cheating on his hot Asian wife, and therefore a hot Asian ex-wife, soon to be.
I did hear about that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she apparently outed him on Twitter or Instagram or something with a picture of her drawing marker on his face with cheater or slut on there or something. I don't remember.
It was cheater.
Yeah,
asshole.
I wasn't putting the whole Machine Gun and Carl Anderson together. But yeah, I remember you guys posting that in the group chat and she made it very public.
And it first of all, it broke my heart because the way she worded things made it sound like she didn't want to be a mom. And that broke my heart really hard. And second of all, Carl Anderson, come on, man. Come on.
Who does want to raise a nice little Asian family? So that is a bummer to hear that she doesn't want kids.
No, and that's the thing that really bummed me out was I was like, come on, Carl. And the thing is, she called out his alcoholism and stuff like that. It basically was it was like a dump.
Yeah, she put him on blast real good.
Which, again, is what we've been hearing about the wrestling industry for the last fucking 30 years. They're a bunch of fucking druggies, alcoholics, and a bunch of fucking sluts. And like you said, we've touched on it before, that a lot of the most recent generation has grown above that to where they have different interests, like Twitch, which, oh, by the way, WWE is saying, hey, you can't do that anymore. So, yeah, great. Take away the one fucking out that they have and drive them back to drugs. Good job, WWE.
Yeah, good call.
I want them to get involved in something like OnlyFans or Twitch, things like that, where they can put their extracurricular time into producing something productive, as opposed to, well, I can't get on Twitch, I can't do OnlyFans, I can't do any of this, so I'm going to go out to the bar with the boys, I'm going to go out to the bar with the girls, and I'm going to get shit-faced, and I'm going to start some drugs, and my physical health, my mental health, it's all just going to rapidly decline.
Yep.
That's what you want. That's what you want them to do instead of producing something, and being productive. Hey, don't do that. Put on a show. Go out. Go to the bar. Get sloshed. Go to the gym. Go back to the show. Lather, rinse, repeat.
That's
I get it because
way, right?
WWE is a burgeoning product and they need all the money that they can possibly get. So I understand them needing to make sure to monetize their staff, make sure they're squeezing every last drop and dime out of them. Yeah, you're right.
All right, well, guys, we do need the burrito time, so if you don't mind, thank you, folks, and I'm talking to you, Maniac, for listening to the P3 podcast this week, and we'll see who comes out on top with the Cruiserweight championship after this Survivor Series weekend, and we want to make sure to thank our sponsors, Mr. Casual Gaming Dad himself, Tiger.
Uppercut.
Bomb Tom, and
Me.
his channel Casual Gaming Dad 84 on YouTube and Twitch. Also Casual Gaming Dad on Facebook, which is his main platform. You can also join Casual Gaming Dad's Corner. Lots of cool updates, lots of other cool streamers on there. But make sure you go like and follow Casual Gaming Dad. Give him some love as well. Give him some support. He does a lot of fun things on Tuesdays. We usually play Among Us. He plays Among Us. We usually join him for that. Also, make sure we're making sure to thank Mr. Sean Tischler and his work for IWC in central Pennsylvania and Pennsylvania on the whole, really, at this point. We're really excited to have indie shows get kicking really, truly back into full swing here if we can get this whole COVID-19 thing in order. Also, and this is just for me, this is for Daddy. I want to plug my other podcast that I do for you guitar gear nerds out there. I do a podcast called the Tone Bros Podcast with myself and my friend Matt, who is also a big wrestling fan, which maybe if he has a question and can stump us, maybe he could be on the show as well, because it's certainly never ever going to be the Maniac. I love you, Maniac. But thank you very much for tuning in. Like I said, like our YouTube channel, go and give us a like on Facebook, and
hey,
check us out on.
If you want a cool nickname like the Mid-Card Maniac, we'll give you a cool nickname like the Mid-Card Maniac, but you got to submit some fucking questions first and prove that you're worth our fucking time.
And make sure.
Hey, what's the email address? One of you two?
That would be.
It is Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast at gmail.com.
Because Lord knows I never promote that in any video that I ever make because I can never remember it.
Pittsburgh Piledriver Podcast at gmail.com. Email those questions in, folks. And I want to thank also the other people on this podcast. They do a really great job as always. I would like to thank Mr. Beef the Legend, Mr. Tiger Bomb Tom, myself, Poot the Bard, Bebe, and your reigning, defending,
for the last time,
undisputed Cruiserweight champion of the world, the Mad King himself, Mr. Alec Ransom. Have a wonderful evening, day, or night. Make sure to check us out, by the way, our audio version of this on Anchor, Google Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast from. We are there. Have a wonderful
and have a happy and safe holiday.
Oh boy,
listen to this fucking guy. Actually,
yes.
Oh,
congrats on your upcoming championship there, Beef.
Actually, yes, have a wonderful holiday. Bye, everyone. We love you.
Gobble, gobble.